representation of persons with disabilities.
Even as the general elections draw nearer, the Disability Caucus on implementation of the Constitution is displeased with alterations made on the number of persons living with disability to be included at the county level.
Under Article 36(1)(d) of the Elections Act, it provided that at the county assembly, 8 people will be nominated to represent the youth, actually 4 for the youth, 4 for people with disabilities. But then the amendment, Miscellaneous Amendment Act, now has reduced that from 4 for people with disabilities to 2. So that then actually has reduced that number from 8 to 6. 2 to represent people with disabilities, 2 to represent the youth, and 2 to represent other marginalized communities.
The implementation process has gone back to business as usual. You know, we have had the opportunity to review all the bills that have gone through Parliament, and every time we have to have we have to insist that issues of disability have to be included, even in those enabling legislation, which has been quite an uphill task for us. It means that you have to be very vigilant, otherwise your issues are not taken on board. So I feel like as a country, we are not ready to include people with disabilities. It has not become automatic.
They are further calling on Parliament to give directions on Article 97(1)(c) of the Constitution, complaining of political malice for leaving out persons with disability in parliamentary representation.
The Constitution in Article 54 says that we must have 5% representation of persons with disabilities in elective and appointive bodies. We have noted the impunity from the time that the different bodies have been established. There is no concerted effort to make sure that people with disabilities are represented. If you look at the recent county commissioners, I doubt even if that there's even one person with disability in the 47.
We hope that
IEBC has also been called upon to revise its rules and regulations in a manner that will facilitate those living with disability to vote during the forthcoming general elections as enshrined in Article 82, subsection 2C.
And we are finding that if the regulations by IEBC do not clearly state how people with disabilities will, vote independently, whether there's assisted voting, and if there's assisted voting, to make sure that that assistant, it does not abuse the right of the person to vote. We are talking about physical accessibility. Accessing the polling stations is a challenge, and more than that, accessibility to information.
The Disability Caucus will be engaging the Chief Justice and Constitution implementation bodies within the next 2 weeks on the way forward in political representation of those living with disability. Failure to any concrete solutions, they have threatened to go to court despite the costs. Henry Minor, GBS News.